Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we will be discussing Surah Al-mumenoon. And though Arabic is a specified language of Allah, um, He understands all things and comprehends the oppression that His children have been faced with. Language is language, regardless. This is why translations were made. So, to the colonial English, man, it's okay to speak English. We don't want to slow you down trying to do references going back and forth. In Arabic, you can do that on your time. But we'll start this off with Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Rahman Rahim Maliki Al Madin Ayaka and Nabudu Ayaka Nastain. Adin Siroltul Mustaqim Siroltul Adin and Amtu Alayhim Irik Mekdubi Alayhim Waladolin. Amen. So we'll get into the first ayat of Al-mumenoon. It says, successful indeed are the believers. 2, verse 2. Who are humble in their prayers and who shun vain conversation. Let's go to ayat 2. Who are humble in their prayers. To be humble in praying. A lot of people are greedy with prayer. They ask for things that are not necessary, that are irrelevant to the folds of Islam, that are worldly things. It's okay to ask for help. For Allah will grant that. He will warrant that. That's what He's there for, the most merciful. A lot of people are greedy with their prayers. They want money in abundance, wealth. Allah is all sufficient. What more could you ask for, right? So be humble in your prayers, please. Ayat 3 says, in who shun vain conversations. Self-explanatory. You should be mindful of the conversation and company that you. So we're going to skip all the way down to Ayat 7, which says, but whosoever craveth beyond that, such are transgressors. Example is greed. And that's exactly what I've been saying to you guys. You're a transgressor of Allah in the folds of Islam. Being greedy. Greed is a terrible, terrible trait and characteristic of any man, but it's not Islamic. Greed is not a trait of Islam. And if you are in the folds of Islam, then you need to be mindful as well. So Ayat 8 says, and who are keepers of their pledge and covenant. La ilaha illallah ana Muhammadana Rasulullah is a pledge and covenant of Allah. We go down to 9 and it says, and who pay heed to their prayers. Number 10, these are the hires. Ayat 11, who will inherit paradise. There they will abide. Okay. The same way the angels record your bad habits and your good habits is the same way you need to be recording your prayers. You need to remember what it is that you prayed for and why you prayed for it, and you need to change that. This is what prayers are for, to change. You're asking Allah for forgiveness for breaking the covenant or vow that you pledged to Islam. You're asking for forgiveness to keep in mind that I will never do this again. So please be mindful of your prayers. And the Muslims that stay true and abide by these things, they will inherit paradise. That's it. That's how you inherit paradise. Being mindful. Being like the prophets. Muhammad, wa alaikum salam. Prophet Isa. Moses. These high elect, spiritual officials, these very, very good Muslim men. So Ayat 26 goes in and it speaks of Noah. He said, Lord, help me, because they deny me. And they deny Noah and they didn't believe him. 43 says, no nation can outstrip its term or postpone it. All nations have a term. So all nations, Nation of Islam, any nation, it has a term. It's on a time. And that's what this is speaking of. Ayat 44 goes in and says, a messenger was sent one after the other, and whenever a messenger came to a nation, they denied him. So their punishment was to be followers of man in wrongdoings and wickedness for these actions. Allah sent messengers one after another, and they denied all the messengers for whatever reasons. They denied all of them. But it goes on to explain why they denied them. Ayat 45, Moses and Aaron is mentioned as prophets. Ayat 47, they said, shall we put faith in two mortals like ourselves? This is what the people said, They went up against Allah. They went up against the prophets that were sent because they said that they looked and appeared to be normal, regular men, mortals. So, according to Ayat 47, basically, because Aaron and Moses and the rest of the prophets that were sent, they walked and talked like the disbelievers. They were treated as such and as enemies, right? The people were looking for some type of miraculous ability, some type of magic, some type of dragons, maybe, something out of a fascination movie script or something like that, But this is a revelation right here because, it's speaking of the messengers that were sent down, and every messenger that came, no one believed them. It wasn't just Prophet Isa. It was all of the prophets, right? So we're looking in this day and time, in this generation of modern day time. And, everyone is looking for a miraculous miracle. They're looking for a man to fly. But this right here is the proof that that's not what you should be looking for. You see, Allah sent the gospel, the Injil, the word. He didn't send man to fly. He didn't send man wings. But he did, in a sense, because if he sent the Injil and said to practice, practice what I've given these messengers, then you shall be able to fly. Because paradise, paradise, man, is where we fly. But, the word in the gospel, what you would call it, came down from the heavens. And everyone isn't an elect. Everyone isn't able to be spiritually elevated by Allah. Some people were made to be followers. That's what it says in the Quran. Following is a punishment to be a follower because you're not elevated enough and you're not doing the correct practices. Your heart is not ready. You haven't truly embraced Islam. And that's what it is, man. Ayat 50 goes in to say, we made the sons of Mary and his mother a portent, which means signs of danger. Portent. It means signs of danger. Mary and the son, Isa, they were signs from Allah. Signs to the people. They wanted miraculous ability. That's what they wanted, someone to heal people. That's how the story goes. Ayat 51 goes and say, O messenger, eat of the good things and do right. I am aware of what you do. Messengers have a direct connection with Allah that regular people don't have, right? So this is Allah speaking directly to the messenger. You can be a messenger if you choose to be a messenger, if you choose to be a vessel, if you choose to take the vow and the covenant of Islam. So with that, teachers are only elected by Allah. Teachers are taught by Allah. Yeah, not by man. Allah will direct him. He will direct him and then he will give him followers to follow him. That's how the process goes. But you must know, and he must know, that you are leading these people in the right direction because he doesn't want any confusion. We have enough confusion in Islam. Ayat 52 goes into say, and lo, your religion is religion, one religion, and I'm your Lord. So keep your duty unto me, which means there are no different sects of Islam, which we'll later go into. The Quran clearly states this in this ayat. There are no sects of Islam. 53, ayat 53 says there's no sects in Islam. Islam is one religion. One. All the division and all of that, we're going strictly off the Quran. And if you're not going off the Quran, then you're not within the folds of Islam. And that's just what it is. We will not deal with you. We will not tolerate you. You will be shunned until you can prove to us that you are trustworthy and worthy enough to live amongst our people. That's what's going on, man. You people need to wake up and smell the coffee or something, because the Quran specifically speaks of how to conduct yourself and what you must do. The discipline is here. And if these things you are not following, then you are not Islamic. We have many more ayats of Al-mumenoon. But 54, I just wanted to just summarize for y'all and get the important parts for you. It says, so leave them in their error till a time. The time is up. We're on a jihad now. The word, the Injil, the gospel has been here for many centuries. What better time than now? The time is up. We're pressing the issue on this, right? Yeah, so we're not leaving them alone. We're going to expose them. We're going to bring forefront the transgressions and the oppression that they're causing and the calamities and confusion of it that's stirring. We're done. We're not tolerating it anymore. We're not tolerating it because we are holy, godly people. And you are stopping us from the benefits of the fruit and labor that Allah has put in over these centuries. Our truest creator, the most divine being of us all. Yeah. So y'all be righteously blessed. Wa alaikum assalam. Y'all know the name. It's Isa Rasul Al-Haq too. Yeah, man. Peace and blessings to all.